Anti-Creon energizing ointment.
Can we talk?
6 cups worth of concentrated caffeine.
Where are we headed? It's a shame about what happened to that lucky fella. Maybe finishing what he started will help put his spirit to rest. Not a word. And I've been sticking my nose in every one of our stately ladies' crannies, stem to stern. Oh, law! That sounds untoward, don't it? That ain't what I meant. Point is, Captain, Mr. Hawthorne left all kinds of scribblings behind panels and under consoles, but ain't a lick of it mentioned Mr. Lucky. So whatever they got up to in the past must have been really Sure thing, Captain. It sure is lonely out here on the edge of the call. Anything could happen. And ain't no one gonna... Alrighty. You change your mind, you just... Yeah? I mean, what do you need? Okay.
CNP bar
That's supposed to be a model of the system? Not super accurate.
I once treated a lady who got her hand caught in the gears. Idiot was more worried about her rings than her fingers.
Please allow me to improve your drinking.
Hey! Of course not. But I'm not. The others took me out. He's basically the. That means that. Yep. That's a great.
Captain, I can smell him from clear over here.
Sure have, cause.
He's got powerful good ears, too.
And a powerful thirst. You have a Spectrum vodka for a new pal? Hey, you look familiar.
Please allow me to improve your...
Hey, you look... Here? Hey, you're... Wow, listen to me, I'm... It's not every day. Wow, you got like this... Oh, Laws. I really shouldn't...
Nonsense. You've got enough.
Guess I can't argue with that. I don't feel so good. I just need to sit down.
I've always loved that sculpture.
It's an orrery, and you say that every time.
You, with the hips. Over here. Let me take a closer look at you. Don't speak. Hold that posture for a moment. The way you rest your weight against your hip. Ah, Celeste, you've done it again. I knew from the... I'm Celeste Jolicoeur. And you, my dear, are exactly what Byzantium needs. Darling, you and that brutish swagger of yours have been on my mind. I'm working on a new line of clothing that will shock this city to its core, and I'd like your help. What do you say, my dear? Care to make... Marvelous! You and I are gonna wake this city... What I need is a survey of the outside world. What does the... Also, I expect you to model for me. Oh, you cad. You'll be the top. I'll need you to model for me the following: the apparel of an iconoclast, the armor of a marauder, and a full ensemble of spacer gear, helmet included. And when I say spacer gear, I mean an outfit worn by real spacers. None of that garbage. You have the bearing and demeanor of a born model. Fabulous! I can't wait.
I love Byzantium. Where else are you going to find art?
Citizens, today marks a monumentous occasion in the course of Halcyon history. After a deep and thorough examination of our budgets, revenues...
Sure, they look fancy, but inside, they're just marble and existential emptiness.
Profits are soaring, promotions abound. Thanks to your continued hard work, Halcyon is healthier and more productive than...
Since we're in Byzantium, there's something I've been meaning to do. I haven't actually talked to my folks in a while. Shocking, right? Anyway, it's probably about time I paid them a visit. Given the dangerous life I lead, they've got to be worried sick. Whoa, let's calm down. I'm not asking for a favor or anything. I'm only bringing it up because we're already here. See, I'm originally from Byzantium, born and raised. I know that probably comes as a big surprise. Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, I was thinking you'd come too? Great. And when we get there, draw out your rough edges a bit. If you've got an outfit you haven't washed in a while, maybe one with some bloodstains. Oh, and help yourself to the good snacks and put your feet on the coffee table. Just know that I've got plenty more suggestions if you need them. Anything else? If there's one thing you could say about Lucky Montoya, he was always at the center of a story. Guess this is fitting. Sure, like Ada said, he was a big name among freelancers. I met him at Lost Hope once. He was buying rounds for everyone and telling a story about one of his jobs. Pretty sure half of it was made up. Exactly. There was just something about Montoya I couldn't quite trust. He was always at the center of a room and he slapped a lot of backs to stay there. Yeah. I'm trying to say that if he screwed this job up, that's on him. I still like our odds. He may have had a rep, but you're more capable than he ever was. Hey, don't get used to it. What's on your mind? From his arm? The decay makes it hard to tell. Could be a lot of things. Torn off by something with big teeth, torn off by something with big claws, torn off by someone with a moderately sharp blade. Or maybe he just got too close to heavy machinery. Sure. Something on your mind?
Oh, there! That's one right there. Can't you just see the stench of impropriety radiating off of him?
For the last time, access to Byzantium is impossible without a proper nav key. Now, if you'll excuse me...
There's my parents' place. Smell that? Industrial-grade cleaning solvent and desperation.
Marilyn, is that you?
Laws, we certainly didn't expect to see you like this.
And I didn't expect you to renew your marriage contract. But we're all full of surprises today, aren't we? Speaking of surprises, you should meet my new friend. We've been running around the system for a while now, stirring up all sorts of trouble. There you go again, Captain. Always menacing polite society. Anyway, you're probably wondering where I've been all this time.
Not exactly.
The last few years have been a bloody haze. You wouldn't believe the messes we've gotten ourselves into. Right? Yep, we're a pair of disgraceful lowlifes.
Marilyn, this really isn't the best time. Perhaps you should go.
We'll stay as long as we like. And while we're at it, we'll drink your expensive hooch, wear our outside shoes all over your nice floors. He's right. Since when can you afford authentic Terran marble?
That's what we've been trying to tell you, dear, but you must understand, we hadn't heard from you in ages.
We thought you were dead.
I'm not dead. I just never wanted to talk to you again.
I'm afraid the distinction was lost on us, darling.
We only did what any grieving parents in our position would do. We collected on your life insurance policy.
And the payouts have been rather, substantial.
You what? Well, now that I'm here, I guess you'll just have to report back that I'm very much alive and kicking.
It's not that simple. For one thing, we'd have to cut back on so many necessities.
Why did you do that?
We had to explain your disappearance somehow.
We couldn't very well tell people you'd run off to become a miscreant, could we? Shh! Someone could hear you.
We concocted a story about Celeste Jollycurl designing a pair of 12-inch heels for you.
One of a kind, naturally.
That led to your tragic death when you tripped and broke your neck.
It was quite the story. People were talking about it for weeks.
Couldn't you have at least made up a better story? Something with pirates or raptidons? And what are you gonna do now that we're here?
Yes, about that. We were just about to ask you to, leave.
Quietly, if you don't mind. She hasn't changed a bit, I see.
That's it? You just want us to disappear now?
Marilyn, please.
Don't cause a scene.
Fine. I'm gone. Forever this time. Let's talk outside. Can you believe those two? We'd hardly been there a minute and they turned us out like yesterday's garbage. I wanted them to get upset. I just thought it would play out differently. They'd both be sitting there watching one of their vapid aetherwave dramas, and then we'd walk in. Mother would drop her mock apple cider, and the glass would shatter all over their overpriced marble. I'd have a great one-liner in the tube. I was thinking either Yeah, I'm gonna use that one day. Now, getting back to my story. Father would throw his hands up, because this would be just like me to come back and make a big scene. Then Mother would do the old, "You had us worried sick." Her eyes would be red and she'd have her fist in front of her mouth to stifle a sob. I don't get mopey. I get mad, caustic, indiscriminately aggressive. I just didn't want to get booted out of the house I grew up in like that. It's embarrassing, you know? And I've got a reputation to maintain. I hope you don't think I'm talking about this because I want to be introspective. But I want to talk about me now. Unless you mean the kind who'll look out for you to blink so they could swipe your bits. The galaxy's not exactly crawling with those. Anyway, I don't want to sift through this lousy experience for meaningful life lessons. I'm mad, and I want to do something about it. Something like... Wait a second. What if I could get that money? I could open a new account, designate that account holder as a sole beneficiary. All the payouts would go to me. I'll make money without doing a thing. And I'll get to cut them off. As long as I don't develop a taste for Woolgonzola and bad legal dramas, that's fine by me. My policy is with the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. They have an office in Byzantium. Maybe you could use some of your people skills to help me set up a dummy beneficiary account. If that doesn't work, I'm sure we can find one of their terminals and do it ourselves.
All right, how does this sound?
Rizzo's Purpleberry Punch. You want a punch? You got your punch right here.
I'm afraid I can't come down anymore.
The dissidents actually...
Down there, a new ship. Doesn't look like any of the corporate freighters.
But what would they be doing here? And how did they ever get permission to land?
Perhaps we'll finally get some excitement after all.
Anti-Cleo's antibiotics. Take comfort in knowing that anything antibiotics cannot stop will probably kill you quick.
We're now in orbit above Fallbrook, Captain.
Get your twitchy whiskers back here! Don't you run out that door!
This looks like the place. You ready to get my money or what?
I see you're still in one piece. However, you never know when that could change. Consider our accident. Note that all of your fragments must be recovered and must be smaller than a standard. I remember that one. That's the young so.
Of course, no one remembers me for the marauders I've killed or the big.
That claim was airtight. Our best investigators couldn't find an exclusion for that one. You can't, of course. Only Miss Fenhill can assign her. If we let every friend, relative, and acquaintance change a policy like that, of course she is.
I like to think she's dead in spirit, but technically, legally, and regretfully...
That's impossible. By all accounts, she was an elegant and classy woman with impossibly fine bone structure.
That's gotta be the nicest thing anyone's said to me in a long while.
Oh, you mean Well, hypothetically, you'd access the terminal in the back room. And you'd, theoretically, But you wouldn't actually do that, of course. That would be fraud. I think you have something in your eye. Perhaps I can interest you in our ocular abnormality coverage. I'm forbidden from accepting bribes, no matter how tempting. Very well. I'll need the name of the new beneficiary.
Ellie Fenhill?
If you say so. The payouts will flow exclusively into the new account at the start of the month. I hope Ms. Fenhill enjoys her newfound...
You're gonna get hit in the crossfire if you meddle with those two. You really did it. Give these payouts a few years and I'll be rolling in it. I've never been prouder to stand back and watch someone else work. I'm just glad my folks aren't gonna live off that awful story they made up. Maybe now they'll have to go back to real jobs. Yeah. The funny thing about getting what you want is then you gotta figure out what to do with it. I've never been much of a planner. Makes my eyeballs itch. Maybe you haven't noticed, but you can't even count on a bribe making it into the right pocket. What's the point of planning for anything around here? Anyway, enough of that. You did a job for me, so here's your fee. Don't make it weird. Even you've got to be in it for the money now and then. Why else would you go through all this trouble? You sure? Because my kind of friends will pick your pocket clean while they're getting hammered with you. Well, I've got a few years of experience that would suggest differently. Still, maybe you've got a point. Maybe it's good to watch someone's back now and then so that one day they watch yours. So, you just keep the money. One of us has to look out for your interests. It's nothing personal. It's just the closest thing I've got to a code. Anyway, enough of the touchy-feelies, huh? Something on your mind?
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Please allow me to improve your drinking experience.
Remember that stranger I saw in the square?
Hortense yells at me about vagrants who can assist.
Out with it, you wretched contraption! Does nothing in this city work anymore?
So, how many times?
I'm afraid I can't help you at the moment. Have a prosperous day.
Well, you're getting an early start on the day's parcels, aren't you? Welcome to Halcyon. Halcyon Parcel Service is the most dependable parcel delivery service in the colony. You might even say we're part and parcel of Halcyon. That's just a little parcel joke. Nope, just parcels. We don't deal in packages. It's very technical. Halcyon Parcel Service strictly adheres to the We can ship all the parcels you want. But if I start shipping packages, I could get into some real trouble.
I'm afraid I can't help you at the moment. Have a prosperous day.
How may I be of assistance?
Are you lost? Sorry, there's not a lot I can do for you.
Well, you're obviously not from around here. I don't believe I've ever seen visitors in the Bureau before, come to think of it. You don't look nearly bored enough to work here. Believe me, I know every... Alonso Vallejos. Extraordinarily pleased to make your acquaintance and so on. I'm currently operating a sightseeing tour of sorts. Think of it as a guided journey across Halcyon. Would you be interested in a trial run? Glad you asked. Our tour guides you across some of the most picturesque and breathtaking sights around Halcyon. We've placed some beacons across a series of locations around Halcyon. All you have to do is follow the beacons to adventure. That slogan's a work in progress. Outstanding! Here, you'll need this special triangulating device. Think of it as a wireless compass pointing the way to the next beacon. When you find a beacon, this device records your discovery and directs you to the next stop on your tour. Find every beacon, finish your tour, and come back here to claim your commemorative hat. Simple!
Nicely done.